morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow Tottenham fans, depending on where you're tuning in from around the world. And welcome back to the Irish Hotspur with your boy, Big Dave, Ireland's #1 Tottenham fan, as I bring you your predicted lineup as Tottenham welcome Brighton down to N17 as we go bird hunting, as we look to take down the Seagulls and exact some revenge for the thumping as they shat on our parade back in December. But for the first time in a long time, we have all the big guns, the golden balls, back and available for selection. So let's get into it. Now, in between the sticks, we will have Guglielmo Vicario. Has had an excellent season up till now. However, of recent, his vulnerabilities under the set piece has come to light, and it is costing us games. It cost us progression in the FA Cup against Man City, and also all 3 points against Everton last weekend. And he has to learn to deal with it. You know, it's going to keep happening until he shows that he can deal with it. The old phrase comes to mind: go and claim man and ball and be more commanding of your area. It's now 14 games without a clean sheet for Vicario at the minute. And my God, do we need to keep a clean sheet tomorrow if we want to go on and claim all 3 points. And I back the Vic Dog to pull off some absolute crucial saves for us. At left back, Destiny Edozie keeps his place, really starting to have an effect on games going forward recently. That's 1 goal and 1 assist in his last 2 games for the big man, and I want to see absolute more of the same. Now that he is contributing going forward, we undoubtedly have the best left back in world football, I'd argue, and dare I say it, the best left back I've seen in the game since Roberto Carlos. At right back, we have Bend It Like Porro, aka the Postman, because he delivers UK wide. Now, of late, he has endured a couple of sort of quiet outings, especially in terms of going forward for Tottenham since that Burnley screamer, and something I would look for him to affect the game tomorrow against Brighton. Now, it is worth noting that his right-hand side got absolutely bombarded and was a target of Brighton's in that last game, and the first goal, which sort of set the tone on the night, came down that side where he allowed his man to cut in him, run across the box unchallenged, which they went on to bury for the first goal. So he will absolutely have to stay switched on because he will be the area of focus once again. But with the Senegalese shield, Papa Sarr, aka Starboy, back, he will have so much more protection and should give Porro a lot more confidence to get forward and affect the game for Spurs, knowing that he is there to cover him. Now, moving into the heart of the defence and starting with the right-hand side, we bring back the Argentinian assassin. Should have done a lot better with Everton's equaliser last week. It was just a free kick flung into the box, something that is Romero's usual bread and butter. He's failed to deal with it, met the ball as he was coming down, ended up hitting it backwards, which is not what you want, which led to their equaliser. However, I will add, against Brighton last time out, we really missed his aggression and his presence in that back line. They sort of just ran at us all game long without anyone laying in anything on them, and Romero will be absolutely of use this time around, and I cannot wait to see him absolutely take out João Pedro in the opening minutes, because he will be angry off the back of last week. And moving on to the left side, and we will bring back in Mickey Ice Cold Veins Van de Ven. He's been absolutely sensational the last 3 games. Brilliant against Man City, best player on the pitch against Brentford, and the best player on the pitch last week at Goodison Park. Mopped up everything, and I have to say, his reading of the game is absolutely sensational and one of the best I've seen out of a Tottenham defender in years gone by. One area that Brighton did look to exploit was especially the pace in behind with Emerson and Ben Davies. With Van de Ven back, they'll have to come up with a different alternative to break us down, as he will mop up absolutely everything in behind and hasn't lost 1 race yet. I'm half thinking, should we send him to the Olympics to represent Holland for a gold medal in the sprint? I wonder, is he quicker than Usain Bolt? That is a race I would like to see. Moving it into the midfield, and an area that puts a smile back on my face as we've got all of our big hitters back, and an area that Postecoglou will have to make a huge decision in, maybe not today, but over the next couple of weeks, is this number 6 role, especially with Yves Bissouma coming back from AFCON. But there is doubts around his fitness. Of course, there's rumours that he tested positive for malaria out there, but also has been picking up and feeling some tightness in his muscles while in training over there. So what condition he comes back in, let's wait and see. But on that basis, I do think Rodrigo Bentancur retains his place despite him being poor over the last few games. But with Yves Bissouma coming back and providing competition, hopefully it will push Bentancur on to another level. And let's not forget, he is only sort of finding his feet after a massive injury layoff, returning and then being put off again. So let's be patient with Rodrigo Bentancur. We do know the class that he does possess. However, hopefully, this will inspire him with Bissouma's competition to put in an absolute great performance at the base of our midfield. Moving on to the right side of midfield, I am absolutely delighted to announce that Sarr should be returning to the lineup here, aka Starboy, aka the Senegalese Shield. He has been an absolutely huge loss for Tottenham in recent weeks due to his AFCON participation. We've absolutely missed his energy, his tenacity, and his work rate in that midfield. But also, I'd argue what goes unnoticed is actually how good he is on the ball in possession, and it's night and day compared to a Skip or a Højbjerg, and he's an absolute key cog, if not the most crucial cog in Postecoglou's system. Had a brilliant impact off the bench last week, sort of brought us a bit of control to the game for a large period, which was absolutely great to see. And I don't see any reason why Ange Postecoglou would hesitate in putting him in from the start this week. He's been absolutely sensational. I'm expecting a big game from Sarr. The third player to complete the midfield is James Maddison, tasked with bringing the creativity to this team. 2 assists in his last 2 starts is exactly why we needed Maddison back. Although I would argue we haven't quite seen him take command of a game yet and control a game like he did before his injury. I still think he's sort of still playing within himself slightly at the minute. And I just want to see golden balls back. The guy with the arrogance, the guy with the cockiness, the belief in himself. That's what I want to see take the pitch tomorrow, as we will need it if we want to break Brighton down, which we struggled with last time out, only scoring 2 goals late on when the game was more or less dead and buried. Moving into the forward areas, and I will start with right wing, and I am going to bring Dejan Kulusevski back. Of course, he didn't start against Everton, was sort of dropped to the bench, and I can understand why due to recent form. However, I do think Postecoglou made the wrong call on the day. What Kulusevski does give us and was clear and evident in his absence. Okay, sometimes maybe when he's not at his creative best, what he does do is give us an out ball, someone to hold the ball up and help get others up the pitch. At times, I felt Brendan Johnson just done the one option every single time in behind, didn't really help his teammates out in terms of dropping short to try and receive the ball and help get us up the pitch. And hopefully we see a response from Kulu. It's a bit like when Conte dropped him in his first season here. He dropped him, I think it was against Leicester. He came off the bench that day, had a massive impact and went on a run of sort of scoring and assisting goals. And hopefully we can see that sort of dog in Kulusevski again for this game, because we will need it, and it'll do his sort of form and his confidence the world of good. Moving on over to left wing. And a guy I don't want to see any excuses about being jet lagged or anything like that. We need him straight back into the team, as he has been a huge miss since he left to represent South Korea at the Asian Cup. And I want to see the return of the Korean king, Son Heung-min. We have really missed his creativity, his drive on the ball, his technical ability, someone that can get on the ball, take players on, and deliver that devastating blow. We've absolutely missed that clinicalness from out wide, and I'm absolutely delighted to have him back. And hopefully he marks his return with a goal and leading Tottenham back to all 3 points once again. Moving on to the guy tasked to lead the line, and that is the on-fire Slick Rick Richarlison, who is absolutely banging them in at the minute. That's 9 goals in his last 9 games, and that's what stepping up without Sonny looks like. That guy right there, and hopefully he can lead the line again and bag us another couple of goals. He's been absolutely sensational, and he's absolutely proven his doubt is wrong with every goal that he scores, and hopefully he continues to do that. That's my predicted lineup, my fellow Spurs fans. Please give me yours in the comment section below, along with your thoughts on what I've had to say about each individual player. Make sure you do smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and please make sure you return here for the pre-match build-up kicking off at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. As always, come on, you Spurs. In the mighty hands we trust, we never stop. Let's go.